Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So I've got Tipsy Tiger's tweet up here, and he's seeing a lot of confusion on the May 17th and 18th fractal for XRP. Well, okay, let me start off by saying this. XRP right now is still holding up critical support, trading right now at 83.5 cents. And so, in the past, what I've done is I've taken this fractal pattern, for those of you guys who have seen previous videos, superimposed it on what we were seeing here after the all-time high. And, I was talking about this idea that even though the levels didn't match necessarily, that the structure itself was matching. Well, now we've kind of gone beyond that November mark. And so this is what Tipsy Tiger is realizing. This is my take, and it seems to make more sense to me. Pay attention to the trend line, SNR line, and yellow local tops. So what he's looking at here, this is 2017, okay? We can see those two bottoms followed by this top. You can see the trend line on the top over here, and it's trending upward in what's looking like an ascending triangular formation. We've got these bottoms here, and then finally this move to the upside. Now, again, if you look at this and you line it up, it doesn't really match. But what he has discovered is that if you take a look at this. If you actually take the first part of this, we can see that this structure, so this is 2022 now, we can see that this structure is just an extended version of the 2017 structure. So what he's suggesting, actually, let me just go back to this. What he's suggesting is that after these two local bottoms, the top here, the ascending triangle upwards, you can see that trend line going up top. What he's suggesting is that we still have a little bit of that fractal pattern left before we see new all-time highs. So that's kind of an interesting way to look at it. Let me go back to this. What he's doing is he's taking the remaining bit of this fractal pattern, so just the end bit here, and so he's already noticed that we have seen these similar patterns, right? Like the double bottoms, that top, the trend line going straight across, and now what he's suggesting is that this is where we are in that trend. So XRP still, of course, trending upward, still, of course, whoops, where am I having it there? Okay, here we go. Still trending upwards, that ascending triangle pattern. Of course, we've got that horizontal line going across there, and so this is what we're to expect next. Of course, that high would bring us up to all-time highs. And so it kind of makes sense, when you're looking at this from that elongated perspective. I wanted to thank Tipsy Tiger at TigerMike15 here for his insight. And so, we never really want to predict timing here. However, if this were to be correct, guess where this would take us, guys? Wow, near the end of March and into April 2022, that would be the bull run. That would be that final pop off top. And if you guys remember, we heard Jeremy Hogan say that he doesn't see this court case going past April 2022. So, interesting prediction there from Tipsy Tiger, of course, coinciding with Jeremy Hogan's timeline. Bringing up BTC here real quick, we can see BTC still also holding that support. So, nothing really to report here with regards to Bitcoin. We're just still waiting for Bitcoin to finally make a move. It is indeed making higher lows. Still, we're seeing those higher lows, and now it's time for Bitcoin to rally, right? We've been waiting for those altcoins to pop off, and we're going to see what happens when it gets to the 0.702. I want to keep moving, guys. SBF optimistic about institutional crypto adoption in 2022. So this to me also speaks to that grander narrative. The founder of FTX Exchange thinks the crypto industry will enjoy an increased rate of institutional adoption as regulatory clarity improves around the world. So let's not forget, it's not like the entire world is clear on the crypto rules, on how they are going to legislate cryptocurrency. So, the United States is kind of going through teething pains right now, but the rest of the world is also in the same boat. Some countries are further ahead than other countries, but FTX Crypto Exchange founder Sam Bankman-Fried is optimistic that clarity provided by regulators around the world will stimulate institutional adoption rates for crypto this and subsequent years. In an interview he did just yesterday with Bloomberg, SBF talked about crypto regulations, institutional adoption, and the metaverse. Despite the rocky end to 2021 for markets, SBF is optimistic about 2022. Okay, SBF, by the way, is Sam Bankman-Fried, the CTO of FTX Exchange. I guess it's just a lot easier to abbreviate his name. The things that make me optimistic basically are more regulatory clarity in the US and globally, which I think could help a ton on institutional adoption. This is what he said. When asked how he thought institutional adoption of crypto could accelerate, In the future, he responded, a lot of it depends on exactly what happens on the regulatory front as well. His views on regulatory clarity encouraging more institutional growth in crypto echoes the views of a bunch of other analysts and CEOs of crypto companies. He offered the possibility that if jurisdictions feel like they're getting regulatory clarity, that adoption could come in as a tidal wave. Guys, a tidal wave. However, rather than the tidal wave scenario, it's going to be a long process, probably stretching out over a few years. This is what he's added. So, 2022 could be like another 2020 in a lot of ways. And, I say 2020 because let's just bring up the total crypto market cap here from, let's just take a look at that. 2020, of course, when we started with the beer flu pandemic, markets panicked. This is the entire crypto market. It went back down to 2019 levels. So you guys can see over here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me just move that over. 2019 levels. Then finally, the year 2020 just shot up like a rocket, and that's the end of 2020 right there. So a super bullish year for crypto in 2020. Enter 2021, we continued the super bullish trend. We did see a retracement. Now we're back up near those all-time highs, right? Close to those all-time highs. And so 2021, also a very good year. But 2022, I think that's when we're going to see that next push up. Of course, institutional demand is really going to be central to this. We've also got this from Michael at Val5 Links reporting on this ABM crypto article. Reuters reports predicts banks will need to answer crypto demand. But here's the catch. So banks, obviously, they have to keep up with the demand that we're already seeing in the crypto space for cryptocurrencies. So as crypto goes increasingly mainstream, more Wall Street companies and banking giants are feeling the pressure to offer crypto exposure to their clients, as we know. However, they need a way to do so safely without attracting the ire of American regulators. So it all stems back to those pesky American regulators. A look into the crypto crystal ball. A Reuters breaking views prediction for 2022 suggested that banks would continue to face this bind, even as some explore products like Bitcoin-backed loans. The report noted what would really open the floodgates for the largest banks would be the regulatory nod to get directly involved in the custody and trading of digital assets, among other things that would help stop lucrative hedge fund clients from going elsewhere for their crypto needs. So this is part of what's going on here, right? Hedge fund clients, they have other options to purchase cryptocurrency. And so, they're going to do what they're going to do. If banks want to play ball, if banks want to stay competitive, they're going to have to adopt cryptocurrency in some way, shape, or form. Now we know some of these banks are already partnered with Ripple, may be using the X current platform, may not be using ODL right now, depending on if XRP is legislated and free and clear to move in their jurisdiction or not. And so this is the bigger picture, right? Once we get that regulatory clarity and once we get clarity for XRP in the United States, I think this is going to have a huge impact on these particular banks that this report is talking about, American banks. Then they can finally move forward with some of the products or some of the services that they have been wanting to offer their institutional clients probably for a few years now. This goes on to talk about investment analyst Anthony Pompliano, of course, a Bitcoin maximalist. He touched upon a similar point during his own 2022 crypto outlook. The exec noted that with more mainstream adoption, Wall Street companies would have to develop their own crypto strategy, even if the strategy was to stay out of crypto. He said 2021 was really the year that we saw the mainstream Wall Street organizations and also corporations say, hey, look, I got to have a strategy. The strategy may be that I'm not going to sit out, but at least I have to have the conversation to go ahead and figure out, should I buy some? Should I not? Should I build a company in this space? Should I build a product? So on and so forth. We've also heard from MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor. He recently added another 1,914 Bitcoin to the company's treasury, and he had a theory. He instead suggested that banking companies getting into crypto could possibly destabilize the economy. So think about this for a second. Do I mind if JP Morgan starts custodying $100 billion of Bitcoin? So there's that argument, right? We see JP Morgan, let's say they get into Bitcoin heavily. Well, that on the surface seems like a good thing, right? They'll pick up the phone, call their clients, all their clients will start buying Bitcoin, and the price of Bitcoin will go through the roof. But it will also demonetize $100 trillion of other assets, therefore potentially collapsing other assets that have formerly done well. So these are all really interesting points. Of course, cryptocurrency, a new and emerging asset. This is definitely going to have an impact on where we see the future go. Of course, holding cryptocurrencies today, if you bought in 2018 and 19 and even 2020 at this point, this is really where you want it to be. At the front of the curve, okay? Because 2022 looking to be a really interesting year. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, guys. For the people who have claimed XFi and maybe still have not received their XFi, Digital Hutch here posted this, the ratio. So some people were wondering about the ratio. He was saying it's about 390 to 1. Gary 1703 was saying 393 to 1. And then Digital Hutch responded here, 309 to 1 was what his final estimate was on this. But then there are also some people who have not received their XFi yet. And so here was an article, just a statement on the Flare Finance blog, Experimental Finance, Welcome to Gamma Phase. Information on airdrop delays due to community uproar in regards to the ratio and airdrop completion time. We felt it necessary to provide a post-mortem on the misfire to make things as clear and transparent as possible. The pre-announced airdrop ratio was expressly stated as an estimate. So for those of you guys who got that estimate from them, that's just it. It was just an estimate, wasn't set in stone yet. At the time, we were undecided on airdropping to the Flare Foundation and also planning to burn all of the tokens from exchanges who did not participate. Since that time, we have spoken to many exchanges, which changed our perspective. We found exchanges weren't against distributing the airdrop to their rightful owners due to a number of understandable factors. With listing a new asset comes the need for a proper review to be conducted, including looking into security, regulatory factors, and scheduling issues that come with managing new projects, 100s, 1000s of requests per day, plus live support and bug fixes. So, there's a lot that goes into these things. And of course, these exchanges want to be regulatory compliant. I believe we saw the same thing with SGB tokens, right? Some exchanges were on the fence, some exchanges did not distribute them. And at that time, the XRP community was also in an uproar about that. So for these reasons, burning the exchange's XFi tokens and thus taking the exchange's choice to wait, see away, we would likely be burning bridges to future support, which did not seem to be in the community's best interest. That being said, the only exchange that was removed entirely from the snapshot was Bitstamp. So just a note there, guys, if you are custodying on Bitstamp, and their 195 million SGB will not be included in distribution. There is some more information down here, more detailed information if you guys are interested. I will link this in the description of the video. But I wanted to move on here, guys. Ant1 here on Twitter. How technology is disrupting the global remittance industry. This article here also discusses RippleNet and some of the projects that have been running on RippleNet throughout 2021, where we have now seen a difference with regards to remittances in these particular countries. So remittance, the transfer of money made by someone working in one country to family and or friends in another country, is a massive business worldwide. According to the World Bank, the officially recorded flow of remittances reached $702 billion in 2020, marginally less than in 2019, totaling about $719 billion. Obviously, the pandemic had something to do with this. They talk about how remittances, a lot of families rely on remittances from loved ones from overseas to support themselves. And yet, for far too long, the process of receiving remittance money has been painfully slow, inconvenient, and costly. So the World Bank recently reported that the average international money transfer fee is still a sizable 6.8%, with sub-Saharan Africa being the most expensive region at 8.9%. And so there's some more statistics down here with regards to that. Just going to move down here. Given the cross nature of remittances, it is not surprising that many of the most exciting developments, including crossing into the world of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. For instance, it was reported in early October that Qatar National Bank has launched a remittance service in collaboration with Ripple, one of the biggest cryptocurrency projects. According to the Gulf Times, the bank aims to enhance its cross-border payment capabilities and expand its remittance services into more countries using RippleNet, Ripple's global financial network technology. So, Qatar National Bank, of course, highlighted in this. That is just one bank in the Middle East region that has been running on RippleNet. This article also quotes Navin Gupta, Ripple's South Asia and MENA managing director. He said, "We are excited to be a strategic partner with QNB, bringing together innovation in banking and fintech to enhance the cross-border payments experience and ultimately scale QNB's remittance service on RippleNet into additional markets." Indeed, RippleNet now comprises of a broad network of financial institutions using Ripple's distributed ledger technology to enable cross-border payments more efficiently, cost-effectively, and rapidly than existing technology such as SWIFT. In January, for instance, it was announced that RippleNet would connect Malaysian mobile finance firm Mobile Money with Bangladeshi mobile finance services provider bKash, which has a whopping 45 million customers to its name. Down here, they also talk a little bit about CeeLo, guys, and that blockchain project. We haven't talked too much about CeeLo. But I did want to mention CELO, one of the World Economic Forum coins, one of the 6 that they did outline in that report from back in June of 2021. So another project that you might want to be paying attention to. Here, let me bring up the CELO chart real quick here. CELO to USD, still a fairly good deal, I suppose, although it was not launched until May, June of 2020. So we have seen some wild swings for that coin. Of course, if I were to impart financial advice, which I never do because I never give financial advice, what I would do though is I would wait for a big correction and then scoop up some of those WEF coins, Algorand, CELO, Cardano, XRP, Solana, and XLM. I'm getting good at memorizing those. But I mean, anyway, just for interest's sake, that is what is happening. So RippleNet, of course, being highlighted in this article, one of the only coins where we are seeing some real world utility being scaled at this moment in time. So I wanted to thank Ant1 for posting that. And so guys, I have a bit of a theory. My theory is, and if you guys have been paying attention over several videos, you have been noticing that, when we talk about the SEC, when we talk about Gary Gensler, of course, there is that focus on the Ripple and XRP case. But what I also wanted to bring to your attention, and I was thinking about it last night, and I was thinking to myself, I told some people this theory, and they were like, yeah, that does make sense. Let me start with this though, because it all ties in. BondCrypt XRP posted this. Central bank digital currencies regulations will be the trend in 2022, right? Part of the theme of this video. So, on the surface, we're hearing that, 2022 is going to be a good year. Crypto is going to be more regulated. I've talked about this in several videos. The rise of interest from institutional investors was primarily due to clear regulatory frameworks for crypto assets across jurisdictions. So we are already seeing institutions get into crypto, which increased institutional grade custody and infrastructure providers within the space, and a burgeoning decentralized finance ecosystem, which provides opportunities for institutional investors to generate alpha. But let me go down here, structured crypto regulations across jurisdictions. Providing investment protection and promoting innovation is important from the government's perspective, of course, as more people are investing in cryptocurrencies. So the big theme, right? Government needs to regulate this so that people don't quote unquote get hurt. That has been the big theme from government. That is what the SEC claims that they are doing. But do you notice stablecoins and DeFi will be the key focus within areas of regulation? They are not necessarily focusing on any one particular cryptocurrency. I mean, Ripple is in court with XRP, and that's a bit of a black swan kind of situation there. But their overall statement, the overall statement that they have kind of been pushing is that stablecoins and DeFi, I'm not going to talk about DeFi too much, but stablecoins in particular is what they really want to regulate now. They have a focus on stablecoins. Their key priority right now, we've heard this from the SEC, is also stablecoins. So I don't know if you guys remember, I did a video just the other day, I'll link it up here in the top right-hand corner, with Perianne Boring of the Chamber of Digital Commerce. She sees agencies elbowing each other to oversee the crypto industry while investors start to pay big taxes. What my theory suggests is that these government organizations definitely know without a doubt that there is going to be more profit taking to be had. Here, I'll bring up the total crypto market, that there is more profit taking to be had in 2022, which just goes to this argument that this is another correction and we are going to see another leg up in 2022 for cryptocurrencies, for the crypto market. Perianne Boring, let me just get back to this. Of course, she says that we're going to see more crypto exchanges go public, at least one more after Coinbase. There's the regulatory turf wars, which of course needs to get sorted out before there is another crypto boom. And cashing in. Okay, predictions for 2022. Cashing in, as you're seeing more adoption of digital assets globally, you're going to start seeing those early investors realize more gains. It's estimated today that 20% of the first-time home buyers are using profits from their crypto investments for their down payments on homes. So we're going to continue to see more early investors taking gains and buying real estate. We'll see more growth in the real estate sector that's fueled by cryptocurrencies, and that also leads to a conversation about tax and more tax revenue as more people are selling their cryptos and taking gains. Of course, this is a prediction for 2022. So another argument for a prolonged bull run. Of course, what does this have to do with stablecoins, Working Money Channel? Well, Remember these articles from back in October? The SEC is likely to get the green light to target stablecoins this week. Okay, I'll link this in the description if you want to read the full thing, because Gary Gensler went on the record before and said stablecoins. He was saying he was comparing stablecoins to poker chips at a casino and that there is no regulatory clarity surrounding them. Do you remember this other article from November? Bank of America sees stablecoin regulation as catalyst to mass adoption. So why focus on these stablecoins? Why is it that the SEC, Bank of America, these regulatory bodies are focusing on stablecoins? Well, guys, follow the money. During previous bull runs, even in 2020 and 2021, what do investors do? They buy low, they see their coins rally, and in some cases, these gains could go up over 2,000%. They see their coins rally, then what do? They take profits. And where do profits normally go if you want to keep your money in crypto? Of course, it only makes sense. They go into stable coins. And so with USDT, USDC, and many other fiat currencies maybe not pegged to the US dollar, these are the coins that are creating safe harbor for wealth protection amongst traders. And so this is why the SEC, Bank of America, and other organizations, other regulatory bodies are really focusing on stablecoins. Now it's not spelled out anywhere. This is just a hunch that I have. And so why do they want to do this by 2022? Well, I'm thinking they're foreseeing another pump, not just for altcoins, guys, as Bitcoin retraces, but for all cryptocurrencies. Again, this is the total market cap. I think what we're seeing, more institutional investors getting into Bitcoin, getting into altcoins, and the American regulatory bodies are saying, without saying it, let's regulate stablecoins because that's how crypto investors are preserving their wealth. We don't want it to happen again without us getting our payday. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.